everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how to start your acting career, especially if you're not taking a traditional route, if you're starting a bit later, things like that. Yeah, before I start on that though, the show of the week this week is Title of Show. It's a musical about two guys writing a musical about two guys writing a musical. It's a little four-hander, kind of fringy, quirky show about people just trying, live their creative lives, and that's what we're all trying to do. I'll put a link in the description, check it out. This topic was a viewer suggestion on my Being a Working Class Actor video, which is very old at this point, so if you want an update on that, then please let me know. And I've also written an article on a similar topic for Spotlight blog about how to manage the finances of being a actor, especially if you're from a working class background, so I will link that below as well. But I thought this would be a good topic for me to cover on the channel just because there is no one path to becoming an actor, and especially if you don't go to drama school, it's good to have resources and guidance out there. So hopefully this will add to those resources for you guys if you're starting out on one of those non-traditional paths. So in this video, I'll be looking at a lot of the practical side of starting your acting career, the essentials that you need, different ways to find castings, what to prioritize, and things like that. So if that's the info that you are desperately looking for, then stay tuned. I wanted to start off with drama school because even though drama school is not for everyone, I don't want anyone to assume that it's not an option for them when it could be. Most drama schools will offer either a BA, which is a Bachelor of Arts, or an MA, which is a Master of Arts in Performance, and any course that is a BA or an MA is a course that you can get student loan funding for, and you can get a student loan at any age. As long as you've never done a BA or an MA before and you've not applied for the funding before and you meet all of the other requirements, you can get a student loan to study at drama school. So don't assume just because you're not 18 you can never afford to go to drama school necessarily. I will put links in the description to resources that have more information of all the requirements for student loan funding. But drama school is not for everyone, and that is totally okay. It might not be a cost thing, it might just be that you don't want to go back into higher education, or that the commitments you have in your life mean that you can't take 3 years out to train. And that's absolutely fine, you can still build a successful career. So if you're wanting to just dive straight into starting your career, here are some tips on how to do that. As an actor, there are 3 essential things that you need in order to start your acting career, start looking for work, etc, etc. And those things are an actor's CV, headshots, and repertoire. So I'm going to go into those 3 things right now. Your acting CV is set out very differently to a normal CV. So at the top you'll have your name, which will be your stage name, whatever as an actor you want to be known as, your contact details, your agent if you have one, and your spotlight pin if you have one. The next section should be your personal details. So this will include your height, your build, your ethnicity, your hair and eye colour, your playing age, and your vocal range if you're a singer. Also in this section you'll have a smaller copy of your headshot kind of in the document, so that if your headshot and your CV get separated and the team are looking at your CV, they can also see what you look like. The next sections can be in any order, but they'll include your skills. So this will be musical skills, dance skills, sports, if you can drive, languages you speak, accents you can do, even things like being able to work on a bar or if you can sew, basically any skills that may be useful on stage or on screen if you can do them properly and authentically. Your training section, if you have any, so this will obviously include any drama schools that you've attended, but can also include any amateur groups you've been a part of, especially if they're well known, like National Youth Theatre for example. This can also be any classes that you've been taking outside. So if you're a member of any organizations that run regular classes or workshops, if there's a teacher that you've done workshops with, that can go in your training section as well, especially if you haven't been to a drama school, just to show that you are training and taking classes. And finally, your list of credits, and each credit should include the role you played, the name of the production, the director, and the venue that the production was performed in. The most important thing, do not lie on your CV. Don't do it. Do not say that you can ride a horse because you went on a donkey ride on the beach when you were 11. If you get cast because you can do that skill that is essential to the role and you've said you can do it and they're like, great, and then you can't do it, it's going to be so bad for your reputation, especially because it's going to cost the production even more money to recast you if you absolutely can't do it. I've heard stories of that happening, like people being cast for a thing out of the country and they said they can ice skate and then they can't ice skate, so they've had to recast at the last minute and fly a new person over, and it's cost thousands and thousands of pounds to the production. You will never work for that production again. And this industry is small and people will talk about that and it'll snowball. So just don't do it. Don't assume that, yeah, you can take a crash course in a thing if you ever need to do it. Just don't lie on your CV, guys. Do not lie on your CV. I cannot stress this enough. It's not worth it. Absolutely not worth it. Next thing is headshots. I talked a little bit about headshots in my DIY temp headshot video if you want to check that out. But essentially, your headshot is your casting director's first impression of you. So bare minimum, it needs to look like you. Don't be overly made up. Don't wear your hair in a way that you would never wear it. Don't be overly edited or filtered, because if you don't look like you in the headshot and that's what they're expecting when you walk in the room, it just throws everything off and it already puts you at a disadvantage. So just make sure that your headshot looks like you. If you're eligible to join Spotlight, which I'm going to talk about in a second, I would highly recommend getting a professional headshot photographer to do your headshots. This will be an investment, but Spotlight is the industry-wide casting site. The biggest, most established casting directors and theatre companies put their castings there. So if your headshot does not look professional, they're not going to give you a second glance if you submit yourself for things on there. Obviously, you don't have to if you can't afford it, but I would strongly recommend, if you're signing up to Spotlight, getting professional headshots done. The third thing is repertoire, and whatever kind of performer you are, you need some sort of repertoire. For musical theatre singers, repertoire of songs is a must. I'm working on a video on how to build your rep folder as a singer, so stay tuned for that. But essentially, you need a collection of songs that A, you know it like the back of your hand, B, cover a wide range of genres and styles, and C, suit your casting. If you're a straight theatre actor, you probably want a collection of monologues that cover a similar remit. Musical theatre actors, it is also useful to have one or two monologues up your sleeve as well. It's not as essential because we don't get asked to bring monologues usually, but occasionally it happens, so it's good to have one or two go-tos for you as well. And if you're an actor musician, you want some go-to songs for your instrument as well. And the reason you need repertoire is because it's for those auditions where the casting team don't give you specific material to prepare, and you need to know it well for those occasions where you're given very short notice. For example, I've had auditions where I've only had less than 24 hours notice for them, so that's why it needs to be stuff that you know really well and you can do even without any prep. So once you have your 3 essential things that you need as an actor, it's time to start looking for work. Yay! The most common way that actors find work is through casting sites, and pretty much all of the casting sites that are used most widely do have a membership fee. If not to join at all, then to join and see the work that is actually paid. As I've already mentioned, Spotlight is the industry casting site. That's where the most established production companies, theatre companies, casting directors will post their castings. If you have an agent or an agent says that they are willing to represent you, they will likely require that you are on Spotlight to be on their books. To join Spotlight, you need to have either a qualification from an accredited drama school or 4 professional credits. And Spotlight membership, at least at the moment, I believe is £158. And you can pay either by direct debit or you can pay in a one-off flat fee. If you can't join Spotlight, other casting sites include Mandy, Star Now and Backstage. I believe there are other smaller ones, but those are kind of the 3 biggest ones, at least in the UK. And all of these platforms have fees. I believe Mandy is £154 a year. Last time I checked, I'm not on Mandy. So you're looking at about the same price as Spotlight. They're not that much cheaper in terms of the annual fee. Different people I've spoken to have had different experiences on all of these casting sites. I've known some people who have said that they absolutely hate Mandy and they do not find it remotely worth the money. And I've known other people who've said they've got really great jobs just from using Mandy. So what I would suggest is that rather than signing up for everything, which would be ridiculously expensive anyway, just focus on 1 or maximum 2 casting sites that you want to try out. If they work for you, stick with them. And whichever casting sites you choose, use them well. Keep them updated whenever you get new credits or you get new headshots, and make sure you're checking them regularly for work. That's going to work for you much better than just being on everything and then just not using them all and not getting your money's worth. But you can also find job listings for free on the Arts Jobs website, which I'll link below, and also on social media. A lot of casting directors or theatre companies post some castings on social media, especially if they're looking for something very specific, or if they're trying to reach new artists that they might not have heard of before. From my own experience, I've seen a lot of castings on Twitter pop up. I know that there are some casting directors that have Facebook pages where they'll post castings and information. I've heard some people say that you can find a lot of castings on Instagram. I haven't had much success with that personally, but if Instagram's more your thing, that could be another place to try. But essentially, just make sure that you're following casting directors, theatre companies, production companies, and keep an eye on their social medias in case they post any castings publicly. So, you've found a job that you want to apply for. Now what do? Well, if you don't have an agent, you'll have to write a submission letter for yourself. A submission, like the name suggests, is when you submit yourself for a role, whether that's through one of the previously mentioned casting sites or directly via email. It's kind of similar to a cover letter for traditional jobs, because a submission letter can make or break whether you actually get called in for an audition. Your submission letter is not the time to be chatting about how you've wanted to be an actor since you were 4 years old, or how Hamlet is your favourite Shakespeare play of all time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Casting people are very, very busy. They have to look through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of submissions for one role probably, and they don't have time to hear your life story. This is not the X Factor. We're not doing like cutaways with sad music about how it's always been your dream to make mum proud. No one cares. Your submission letter should highlight the qualities on your CV that make you suitable for the role you're applying for. That's it. It's basically the too long didn't read of your CV. For example, made up scenario. If I was submitting myself for a role where the casting team are looking for a female actress to play a 16-year-old in a new workshop musical who can ideally play some kind of instrument but not essential, in my submission letter I would mention that I've trained in musical theatre, I've done a lot of productions that have been new writing, including musical theatre and new writing, that I play the ukulele and have done in X production, and that my playing age fits the character that they're casting. That's basically it. And then thank you in advance for your consideration, yours sincerely. If you feel really passionately about a show or about a production company, You can at the end have a sentence saying, I really love your work and would love this opportunity to work with you, but that shouldn't be the meat and potatoes of your submission letter. That's like the little bit of garnish on top of the chicken. Do you know what I mean? And at no point should it be like a kissing your ass moment. So yeah, don't fall into the trap of making your submission letters about how it'd be a great opportunity for you. Actors are 10 a penny. They don't care if it'll be a good opportunity for you. It'll be a great opportunity for everyone else, unless they're Judi Dench. And then it's like Judy's sitting there being like, I can choose my work. You guys are knocking on my door. You're submitting yourself for a job. You're a professional. You just need to show them that you can do the job that they require you to do. And then that's the thing that will get you into the audition room. To end, I just want to share a couple of resources that I think you will all find really, really helpful if you've made it this far in the video. The first is An Actor's Guide to Getting Work by Simon Dunmore. This is an excellent book. It covers everything from the beginning of your career, choosing drama schools, things like that, all the way up to everything. Yeah, equity, different types of work, casting directors, low pay, no pay. It covers literally everything. So whatever stage you are at in your acting career, this is a great book. The other book I would recommend is Auditions, A Complete Guide by Richard Evans, who is a casting director, and this is everything you need to know about auditioning, obviously. It's a complete guide. And again, this covers things about drama schools and showcases, amateur versus professional auditions, handling job offers yourself, the recall process, lots of great stuff in here. So I will link both of these books in the description for you so you can buy them yourselves or check them out. They are so useful. Would highly recommend both of these books. So that is the end of this video. You probably noticed that this video was more of an overview, but as I was preparing it, I did notice that there were lots of like sub-genres and subtopics that are kind of deserving of their own video. So if you would be interested in watching videos about those topics, then let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to make videos on those for you. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it useful, please consider liking and subscribing. Would love to have you on the channel. Stay tuned for more theatre content from a UK perspective, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, friends!